What is up, guys? Nintenjoel here once again, and I got tagged once again. This time I got tagged by the Co-op Collector, who asks, what are your childhood games? What games did you have when you were a kid? What did you play when you were a kid, Nintendo-wise? And first of all, I'd like to say, check out Co-op Collector's channel. Really good channel. I will leave a link to his channel in the description below. And yeah, that'd be awesome if you could check out his channel. Check out some videos, like them, subscribe. That would be rad. So, games that I had as a kid. This one's actually fairly easy for me. I was, at the same time I was lucky, I was simultaneously unlucky with the Nintendo Entertainment System. The reason being was because my parents refused to buy me a new video game system. They just weren't into video games. We had an Atari when I was growing up, and I think they thought that was good enough. And so, they never bought me a Nintendo, but I bought myself a Nintendo later on. Once everybody had already had a Nintendo for a couple years, I ended up getting my Nintendo probably, I don't know, 88, 89, something like that. And I had this neighbor that lived behind me with just an alley separating us. And he was selling his Nintendo for, I don't remember what reason, but he was selling it for $30, and there was like 15 games with it. And I got a Power Glove, too. I don't know whatever happened to the Power Glove. That thing was a piece of shit anyway, so I never used it. But I did get a stack, and I mean a stack of games. There was like 15 games at least, maybe 20, I don't know. He sold it to me super cheap, and that's how I got my Nintendo. That's my very first console purchase and very first game purchase of my own. And yeah, I ended up with a stack of games, and there's a bunch that I played commonly. Now, the first one is going to be one that all of us played. All of us played, and I played this actually mostly with my sister and my brother-in-law at their house, but I did play this at home as well, Super Mario Brothers. Yes, I did have the one with Mario and Duck Hunt, but I decided to show this one because I didn't play Duck Hunt. Sorry, Jessica. I know Jessica played Duck Hunt. She's back there probably throwing daggers at me because she loves Duck Hunt. I'm not a Duck Hunt guy, it's alright. But I did play a ton of Mario Brothers, and I did also play a ton of Mario 2 and 3. I beat all three of those games when I was a kid and or a teenager. But like I said, mostly played with those with my sister and my brother-in-law. But I did own those, played those a lot. But those got kind of old. I needed something different, so I definitely gravitated towards darker art, even when I was a kid. And so the cover of Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest always, like, totally interested me. And I love, like, skulls and bats and, like, death. I don't know why. I was, like, meant to be a metal kid even when I was a kid. I don't know. But anyways, so Castlevania really spoke to me. But I had the second one. The notoriously shitty, hard-to-figure-out one. But I was a kid. I never played 1 and 3. 3 wasn't even out when I got this, probably. And I didn't care. I didn't even care that I couldn't get very far in this game. I loved playing it. I loved the music, especially. And just the visualizations and having a flaming whip was the shit. I mean, I don't know. And I got decent at it. I was actually okay at it, but there were things I didn't know how to do, like crouch at a fucking cliff with a fucking crystal for an indeterminate amount of time and wait for a tornado to take me somewhere else. Like, I was a kid. I didn't know to do that shit, but I still had fun with that game. Alright, another game that is maybe not the most popular in the world, and holy crap, this thing has had a sticker on forever. Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout. This is a really good platformer. I don't know why it gets so much shit. The controls are maybe a little wonky. The hit detection might be a little wonky too, but it's not a very hard game, so it doesn't make it a... The fact that the hit detection's a little off doesn't make it a game breaker. It's still a fairly easy game, and if you want a quick playthrough of something, Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout is actually really fun. It's a good platformer. I actually really liked it and played that a ton as a kid. And speaking of Warner Brothers cartoon games, we've got Tiny Toons Adventures. This game for sure came with that first stack of games. I mean, I've gotten some games later on. So far, I think every one of these came with that stack of games. They might have all, I'm not really positive. But amongst my first games, for sure, Tiny Toons Adventures. Another platformer, but what's cool is you can choose your character, and each character has like a little different ability. Like Dizzy can spin around and break through blocks, and the cat can like climb up walls, and, you know, I can't remember the rabbit's name. Buster Bunny is just an all-around good character. Oh, and there's Plucky Duck, who can like kind of flap his wings and float around for a little while. Somebody should use that for a clip. Alright. Jessica's cracking up in the corner. Alright, and then the next one. Never beaten this game. I have never beaten Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I don't know why. Because Mike Tyson's a bitch. I mean, seriously, he's a bitch. But I've gotten very far in this game. I'm actually really good at this game. I just don't have the patience to keep going through it, to keep attempting Mike Tyson. So I never actually beat it, but I was actually pretty damn good at this game as a kid. As an adult, maybe not so much. Okay. This one's a cool one to have as an original copy and have this since I was a kid. Not many people I know can say that. This is my original copy as far as I can remember. I don't think I've ever scored this again and like replaced it for a label. Plus, I kept my labels in pretty good condition. The original Mega Man, Mega Man 1. I did play Mega Man 1 and 2 a lot, and then I had a friend that lived down the street that played Mega Man 3 and 4 when it came out a lot. I never played 5 and 6 until I was an adult. But yeah, this Mega Man, good condition. It's got a little rip on the back, but this is one of the harder ones. This gave me a lot of trouble as a kid, and still does as an adult. Mega Man 2, though, I'm really good at. Still haven't beaten those. It's like the same story as Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Like, I've gotten really far, like pretty much to the end, but then never had the patience to keep playing it that far to get better at the very end stuff. Unlike this game, which I played so much that, yes, I eventually beat it. Probably beaten this one a couple times. Legend of Zelda. This is my original copy. Super shiny. Super freaking gold. It's got one tiny little flaw here. And then I did also have this as a kid. Zelda 2. These are both my original carts. They're both in super good condition. Besides very, very minor flaws, they've actually some of the nicer ones I've ever run across, and I've run across a lot of these, so lucky to have these still. Legend of Zelda is just a classic. I mean, it got me into adventure games, it got me into exploring in games, it got me into games where you can equip different items and weapons, and things that weren't just straight-ahead games like platformers or like run-and-guns or beat-em-ups or anything like that. Legend of Zelda is arguably the first game that got me into RPG-ish aspects. I don't consider Legend of Zelda an RPG at all. I know that's an argument through the ages, but there's no experience system, there's no leveling up. However, I do consider it an adventure game, just like Super Metroid and, you know, Super Adventure Island 2, or, you know, any of those kind of games. Ys 3. Although Ys 3 does actually have RPG elements in it as well. But anyways, totally getting off track. That was definitely the first adventure game I ever beat, followed by Metroid. Okay, so now we're getting into, like, this is what got me into RPGs. I've never told this little story before, but these last 4 games, this is the reason I am such a huge RPG slut, because I got a few of them when I first got my Nintendo stuff, and they were all a little bit different. I think I got 3 of them, so I have these 3, and then I have another, like, honorable mention for you guys. Ultima Exodus. This is one of those freaking crazy games where it's like, if you know what you're doing, you can beat this game in a couple hours. But if you don't know what you're doing, like I did as a kid, you can play this game forever and get fucking nowhere, and yet still have fun. I love the music on this game, the battle themes. I like the way the combat's almost, now that I am into tactical RPGs, it's like, it's almost tactical RPG-ish, because you do have to move your characters around on a kind of a grid formation type thing. Even though you don't see a grid, you can only move so many squares and everything. And then some characters have long-range attacks, and some have short-range attacks, some have magic that can affect all enemies, and yeah, Ultima, pretty cool game, and something I definitely really, really enjoyed. And then, Final Fantasy. Arguably, probably the best thing I played on the Nintendo. Oddly enough, I have not beaten this game. I've gotten to the last boss and I got my ass kicked, got pissed off. Never, ever went back to beat it again. Though I have beaten this on the Game Boy Advance version, Dawn of Souls. But, yeah, Final Fantasy. Amazing RPG. I mean, it's so freaking good, and it really paved the path for me to love Final Fantasy IV and then Final Fantasy VI. When my friends got those, they blew me away for the amount of upgrading they put into that game. Like, where that franchise started and where it is today is so crazy. Kind of the opposite of this franchise. Last one I have for you, Dragon Warrior. Played this a lot as a kid, beat it. I've beaten this game. This is the RPG I've beaten the most. A lot of people don't have the patience for this game because it requires so much grinding. I can beat this in a very short amount of time. Like, give me a few days and Dragon Warrior's down. I've beaten this quite a few times on different platforms as well. Most recently, Super Famicom had a Dragon Quest 1 and 2 on one cart, and I beat Dragon Quest 1 recently. But yeah, Dragon Warrior got me into RPGs so much, but this is like the opposite of Final Fantasy. This franchise has like barely changed over the years. They've kept the same basic formula for most of the games, and yet it still works so good. Okay, but my honorable mention, and I guess the game I wanted to mention the most, even though I didn't have this as a kid, this is the game I rented the most, and it goes with Dragon Warrior 4. There was this place that I've talked about on my channel before. My dad used to call it the Video Closet. It was actually called Video World, but it was so small, it was like the size of a closet. And I swear I must have been the only kid in Pacifica, California that liked RPGs because I was the only one to pick up this gem just over and over and over. I probably could have bought this game 3 times in the amount of money I spent renting it. Just over and over. I wouldn't even return it sometimes. I'd keep the card at home, and I'd go to Video Closet, and I'd be like, oh, I just want to rent Dragon Warrior 4 again. And he's like, oh, okay, and he just put it on my account. No big deal. And for $3 or so, it was like 5 days, and I just played the shit out of this. I've had this cart for a very, very long time. I don't even remember where I got this, actually. It's one of the few, like, gems that I have that I don't remember where I got this. Pretty sure I got it as a teenager. I don't think it's the original from Video Closet. I'm like, pretty sure it's not. I think I got it as a teenager as a pretty good deal, but this is probably the game in my collection that has seen the most use. This and Symphony of the Night, I'd have to say. Maybe Final Fantasy VI. But, yeah. Sorry this video is so long, but I had a lot of video games to talk about. There were more. Let's see. There was Fester's Quest I also got in that lot. There was Bayou Billy I got in that lot, which I think Mosley mentioned. And I actually do like Bayou Billy. There was Commando in that lot. I played that a little bit. There was the Terrible Hydlide. I played that a little bit, and it was just fucking awful. Oh, you know what? Kid Icarus was in that lot, too. I didn't mention that. That is, to me, the hardest Nintendo game, except for maybe Ghosts and Goblins, but those 2 games are, like, just ridiculous. So anyways, thank you, Co-op Collector, for tagging me. Sorry this response is so long and took me a while to get to, but I had a little bit to think about with all the games that I actually got all at once as a kid, and just really wanted to talk about the games a little bit and my experience with them. So that's all I have for you guys. Ah, crap, I forgot to tag 3 people. Okay, so first of all, let's tag Jacob Chaplin. Good channel, great personality, he deserves a tag. That'd be awesome if you could do a video, Jacob. And then, let's see, second person, let's do BioPhoenix. I don't think I've ever tagged BioPhoenix before. He's got an awesome channel, great personality. Go check out BioPhoenix. BioPhoenix, if you can respond to this tag, that would be amazing. What are your games that you had as a kid for Nintendo? And then, third person, I like doing things in odd numbers. We're going to do Nintendo 13. Rod, you kick ass. I love your channel. Be sure to check out Nintendo 13. He's got a great channel. If you can do a response video, that'd be great. The Nintendo games that you had as a kid, that would be rad. Thank you very much for watching. Keep rocking the retro games.